Tweed. Like all y'all out there, I enjoy a good movie every now and then. Of course, everyone's favorite genre of movies is movies that don't make any sense. So here we are. You probably already read the title. Here's everything that doesn't make sense in the movie Clue. Clue is a whodunit released in 1985 that had a star-studded cast and a quirky, fun energy to it. It's unique in that it had 3 different endings that would be shown randomly at different movie times, a novel concept in movies at the time and even kinda today. Trouble is, you can't make a whodunit with 3 different endings without making things a little confusing, so let's point and laugh at all of them that I can find. By the way, this movie is enjoyed best if you've already seen the movie beforehand. I'm gonna start spoilers like immediately in the video. Plus, if you haven't seen it yet, this video is gonna not make sense and probably not be entertaining. So if you haven't seen it, here's your warning. Alright, ground rules. There are 3 endings, right? All 3 endings are gonna be deemed possible by the movie. So even if something makes sense in the main ending but doesn't in like another ending, I still count it as like a thing that could be possible, and therefore if something goes against it, I'm gonna point and laugh and go, haha, this doesn't make sense. That said, 3rd ending is canon ending, and we're not going with the unshot 4th ending. And finally, this is just me going, haha, there's plot holes in this movie. This is not really me criticizing the movie or doing like what I pretend is a legitimate criticism. Cinema sins can go the fuck away. Okay, let's go. Coming in hot, number 1, what kind of dog owner gets attacked by their own dogs? Is Tim Curry that shit at taking care of dogs? Or maybe they're Lee Ving's dogs? Or someone else's dogs? You know, since Tim Curry says later that the house belonged to a friend of his. In which case, who owns these fucking dogs? Why are they left here? Tim Curry clearly came with snacks for them, so he knew.
Everything all right, Mrs. Ho?
Dinner will be ready at 7:30.
Number 2, what the heck was the point of Mrs. Ho pointing the knife at him? It doesn't lead anywhere. She's not even a bad guy. Imagine a waiter pointing a knife at you and going, "You want some soup to start?"
May I take your coat? It is Colonel Mustard, isn't it?
No, that's not my name. My name is Colonel...
Yes, sir. But tonight, you may well feel obliged to my employer for the use of an alias.
Number 3, if Tim Curry already knows Colonel Mustard's name given the canon ending, what's the point in stopping him from saying his name? They're the only ones in the hallway. They're like the only ones in like the house apart from like the workers. Number 4, this is a small one, but is this a universe where the board game Cluedo exists or isn't it? Like, if it exists, did Mr. Body just have to wait to specifically find a colonel to blackmail? Like, ah shit, he's a lieutenant. Alright, stand down, gents.
Oh, Wadsworth, I was...
Number 5, what's the purpose of making a door like that? Especially if people are gonna get drunk inside that room. It's cool, but it seems disorienting. Okay, number 6, and this is just a me thing. I hate coincidences like this. What are the freaking odds that the first person Miss Scarlet even sees after her car breaks down is Professor Plum? Number 7, in between this shot and this, it kind of looks like she immediately stopped walking after this shot finished. It just seems awkward. I also like how this implies that Tim Curry went in ahead of her like a jerk for no real reason. Number 8, so like, I can see that Mr. Green is a little wet, but given how hard it's raining and how he doesn't have an umbrella, shouldn't he be a little wetter?
Of course, since you've each been addressed by a pseudonym, you'll have realized that nobody here is being addressed by their real name.
Number 9, how did everyone not clue in when Tim Curry points out no one is using their real name, that they're all being blackmailed by someone there? That was literally the reason they all came. They all said that about their letters later. How did they not realize that the other people not using their real names were being blackmailed? Did they think that they were being blackmailed by like 8 people?
Dinner.
Number 10, what's with the dinner bell? Is that the normal thing she does? If so, shouldn't Mrs. Peacock immediately clue in and go, huh, sounds like what my cook did? Does she just think all cooks do that?
So what does your husband do?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Number 11, why does Mrs. Peacock immediately gun right for Mrs. White and ask what his husband does? She doesn't ask this of any of the men, nor Scarlet, nor even White's occupation. Just White's husband and no one else until like a solid minute later. Mr. Green makes more sense since he said he knows what she did. But no, first on the list is the husband of Mrs. White, who's not even here. How convenient that her husband plays a pivotal role in the plot. Number 12, big one incoming. Why was Mrs. Peacock served before anyone the fuck else? Why was Mrs. Wait for the other guest.
Well, I'm going to start while it's still hot.
Oh, now shouldn't we wait for the other guests?
Just chowing down on that dish before anyone else even got served. That's fucking rude during a dinner party. Okay, number 13. So, like, most of these people, as in all but one, live in Washington, D.C. It's later heavily implied that the cop is too. At the beginning of the movie, it said this was New England. I've driven from New York to Virginia before in, like, a not from the 50s car. And spoiler alert, cars have gotten faster. And it took around 4 hours. Even if this place is in, like, Connecticut, the closest state to D.C. in New England, and even if people felt forced to drive the, like, 8 hours because of the blackmail. Given they didn't know everyone else was blackmailed, wouldn't they be all like, hey, why'd everyone travel 8 hours for a fucking dinner party? Number 14. Colonel Mustang stands up to ask Tim Curry why he was brought here. Not only is there one 3-second shot between Mustard standing up and sitting down fully adjusted, but also, Tim Curry walks behind him to get Lee Ving at the door. So why are both Mustard and Scarlett staring straight ahead as they listen? Shouldn't at least one of them be looking over their shoulder if they're trying to listen and maybe get a look at this guy? When's the last time you wanted to listen to something happening outside your bedroom door so you stare at the back friggin' wall? Alright, if I keep doing editing continuity, this is gonna take fucking forever.
May I present Mr. Body?
What are they all doing here?
Eating dinner.
Number 15. Mr. Body asks, what are they all doing here? And then is later revealed to be the one who invited them all. Like, I get the canon third ending, I get this isn't actually, but still, why was this line even included? All it does is confuse me.
I demand to know what's going on. Now, why have we all been dragged up here to this horrible place?
Number 16. Why does Mrs. Peacock call the house horrible? It looks fine from the inside. It's just rude, really.
Now, how did you know her name?
We know each other. Don't we, dude?
Number 17. Okay, going by the canon ending, was this just a flex on the butler's part to openly flirt with the maid? Like, let alone the fact that she clearly doesn't consent, and that's an issue. Isn't that kind of like not a thing butlers should do? Given this guy is supposed to be a butler, he deserves an Oscar for acting like a jackass. Okay, so number 18. Even without the third ending, Tim Curry later revealed he invited everyone, so did Tim Curry seriously write this note for himself? No one else even saw the writing. Why did you do all this extra work?
I'm instructed to explain to you what you all have in common with each other. And unless you would care to do the honors, Mr. Body?
Number 19. Did Tim Curry interrupt the word unless with unless?
It's a hoax. I suggest we all leave.
Number 20. If Lee Ving got cold feet that quickly, why'd he even come at all? If he felt obliged to fill the role given he's the butler, why'd he immediately bail like that? Was now really the time to get cold feet and not like, I don't know, on the drive over or something like that? The dinner party would have gone without a hitch if he wasn't there.
You can't get out that way. Why not? It's only glass.
Number 21. Didn't Tim Curry reduce the chains on those dogs earlier? Is this a stealth third dog that he had just in case? Why didn't it get a bone? How did it know to jump on the glass right then and there?
In return for delivering your husband, Senator Peacock's vote to certain lobbyists.
Number 22. Why does he call Mrs. Peacock's husband Senator Peacock? Given she's using a synonym, isn't that kind of like weird?
Your first husband also disappeared.
Number 23. Call me pedantic. Why did Tim Curry say Mrs. White's first husband also disappeared? The second one didn't disappear. He was found dead at home. I'm guessing he disappeared from, like, life. But that's a different context to this other husband.
You can't fight. You apparently don't fight at all. He calls me a bastard.
Number 24. Neither Mr. Green nor Lee Ving open their mouths when they say their lines here. Yes, I'm back to editing continuity. Number 25. So everyone gets murder presents as a gift. Okay, first issue. There's clearly an uneven distribution of effort here. I'm reasonably sure it's harder to kill someone with a pre-made noose than a gun. With a noose, you have to, like, get it around their neck and then strangle as they fight back. Gun, bang, bang, dead. Also, there are a lot more items in this house if you could kill someone if you wanted. Like, you could kill someone with theoretically most of the things in this house. 3 of these items are just blunt force trauma. If I got a wrench as a present, I wouldn't be all like, you son of a bitch, you want me to kill someone with this. I'd be all like, oh, cool. You got me a wrench. Number 26. Okay, so going by the third ending where Lee Ving is actually Tim Curry's butler, did Lee Ving still have this idea himself and just plan to kill his employer? Or maybe did Tim Curry convince him to bring murder weapons and go, you gotta help me out, dude. I wanna die, but like creatively. Even if Lee Ving was Mr. Body, this idea just sucks.
Now.
Number 27. Even if the light switch was connected to every light source in the room like the lamps, the fireplace is still clearly lit. And there's also like open windows with visible light outside. You'd even see the light creeping in under the door. The movie itself even shows how you'd still see some light during the blackout scene. Number 28. Mrs. Peacock's drinking glass is gone, yo! Number 29. So when Yvette is screaming here, they're just reusing Miss Scarlett's screams from throughout the movie. No, seriously, listen. Why didn't they just ask Yvette's actor to do her own screams? Number 30. So, assuming the other 2 endings are supposed to make sense, how did a dude's butler find out about the other people the dude was blackmailing? The dude already knows their names, so who is he protecting by giving them aliases? Number 31, kinda in the same vein. Maybe I'm stupid, but Tim Curry says he wrote the letters, and whether he's the butler or Mr. Body, that's clearly true in both cases. He himself says blackmail is dependent on secrecy. Why doesn't he just use the guests' real names from this point forward?
She's not here.
Number 32, why did that door only open when Mr. Green was standing right there? Number 33, Miss Scarlet's cigarette is gone, yo.
Don't touch it! That's evidence.
Number 34, why does Colonel Mustard go, don't touch it, and immediately fucking grab it? Number 35, who thought to leave the candlestick way the fuck up there, and why was its fall triggered by Tim Curry shouting? Like, who killed Mr. Body and then went, I gotta hide this candlestick in a place that I can easily dispose of it? I know, on top of the door frame. This is just 25 again, but why lock up 6 items, 3 of which are just blunt force trauma, when there are many items in the house you could use as a murder weapon? One of these objects was a knife. The cook was sharpening another knife at the beginning of the movie. Why didn't you lock that up too? Later on, Colonel Mustard picks up a pool cue and Miss Scarlet freaks the fuck out. What was locking these away even accomplishing? Okay, so number 36. Going by the third ending, Tim Curry literally wants these murders to happen. Why is he locking up these items and making the murders, which can for some reason only happen via these 6 items, substantially harder? He's also really hedging his bets here. How convenient that none of the people he's blackmailing got murdered, especially considering every murder was done by a different person. Third ending. Number 37. Did Tim Curry sabotage this dude's car? How did he plan this so that the dude would be driving here of all places, tonight of all nights, and break down exactly where he did in the 50s when car technology even wasn't that well understood by the layman, all on the assumption Colonel Mustard would see him, piece together that he was Mr. Body's informer, and feel the need to murder him using the secret passageway that he doesn't know yet exists, all on a night when everyone was already suspicious of murders going on and in groups.
Seems a little bit unlikely.
Number 38. Did nobody else think that throwing the weapons outside was a better idea than throwing the key? If nothing else, now your cupboard is useless. Number 39. It feels pretty petty to do this continuously after all this plot analysis, but this glass magically leaps into Colonel Mustard's hand. Number 40. Okay, so if Colonel Mustard swapped the key and suggested splitting up into pairs to kill the motorist, was it sheer dumb luck he happened to be part of the pair that discovered the secret passageway and searched the ground floor where the motorist was? Would his entire plan have fallen through if he picked literally any other match?
You look. I'll search the kitchen.
Number 41. So this is presumably when Scarlet and Mustard split up and he killed the motorist. Note that they haven't found the secret passageway yet. I get when they found it, they also found the body, but when Mustard says he's going to search the kitchen and leaves, was he looking for a secret passage, as if he already knows one exists? And if not, why was he looking for a way to kill the motorist inside the conservatory on the other side of the house? Number 42. Pedantic point. Why does Colonel Mustard look the exact same age in a picture that would have been taken around like 10 years ago? Number 43. So assuming all endings are possible, why did everyone invited to this party, including the maid, have an identical looking pair of black leather gloves? Number 44. So this dude on the other end of the call hears, "One of them is my old boss," from then an impact sound, then 5 seconds of silence, then the phone hangs up, and he doesn't immediately call the cops and ask them to trace the last call? Friend of the fucking year. Number 45. How did Mustard and Scarlet even meet back up? After the death of the motorist, it just goes to the cop, and then back to Mustard and Scarlet flicking on the lights of the conservatory. So what, did he run back out and then go back in? Seems risky at best. If she was anywhere else, she would have either known him to be in that room where they found him murdered and immediately called him out as a murderer, or went, "Oh, you checked the conservatory? Cool, let's move on to the dining room," and never seen the body. Also, in the other 2 endings, did they not see either Mrs. Peacock or Yvette running from the conservatory? Number 46. Unless both of them have tunnel vision or something, and I doubt it because Colonel Mustard was in the war.
You can't fly jets if you're colorblind.
Why did it take them like 10 full seconds to see the body? It's right there in plain sight. Okay, so this one's gonna get a little bit speculaty. 47.
47.
So Tim Curry says his key is gone. Is it implying he threw away the lounge key? Because the keys were swapped when they were huddled, and he used the key to lock the lounge after, meaning neither the key to the house nor the key to the lounge, or for that matter the library, could have been the one Colonel Mustard used when he swapped it. Did Mustard just use one of his own keys? And if so, what's the significance of the key being gone? Like, why is it gone? And why are you telling me the key's gone, Tim Curry? Unless you're a dumb turd, you didn't use it to lock the lounge and then immediately throw that same key away. Okay, let's take a break to say something I fucking love in this movie. Michael McKean is playing 2 roles in this movie, an undercover FBI agent and Mr. Green, the closeted gay scaredy cat he's trying to go undercover as. Throughout this movie, you see him mostly play the latter up until the end, but there's small moments of pure awesomeness where you see him slip character as the latter and go into the former. Like when they discover the motorist and you can see him as the undercover agent go, "Damn, I let another one slip. I'll avenge you, motorist man." But only to himself. You can even tell the slip of character because he takes off his glasses and adopts different facial expressions to transition. It's such a small, barely noticeable, but super cool moment.
How did you know it was unlocked? How did you know that you could get at the gun?
I didn't. I think I would break it open, but it was open already.
Okay, back to the shit. 48. If she thought she could break open the cupboard, what was the fucking good of throwing away the key again? 49. So you gave the key to Mr. Green, but not to Mrs. White? I get it's different reasons, but especially for ending 3, you're not really thinking about anyone doing anything but everything according to your plan, huh?
Did the driver come in here for any help by any chance?
No. Well, actually, yes.
No.
50. So the police officer doesn't question at all the fact there's a missing person. One person says, yes, he came here, and everyone else nervously chants, no, he didn't. Police officer of the fucking year. 51. Knowing what we know, why did the police officer say he thought he knew Yvette, but not Miss Scarlet? 52. Area cop gets locked in a fucking room, tries the door a few times, and shrugs it off. A cop. More at 11.
And why are you receiving phone calls from J. Edgar Hoover?
J. Edgar Hoover?
That's right. The head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
53. So, why would J. Edgar Hoover call this house directly? And why in the good goddamn would he use his real friggin' name? Isn't this a secret operation? That's like calling a wedding in Yemen and going, yes, this is Obama. I wanted to know how the bombings are going.
Of course, this is America.
I see.
It's a free country, don't you know that?
54, a fitting number. Okay, so this movie takes place in 1954. There were black police officers in this time, but notably before the formation of the National Black Police Association, they were usually stuck in black neighborhoods. Now this could actually make sense given how Scarlett knows him from her area in DC, which had prostitutes, so maybe it was an underfunded area, hence the black cop. But do you know what else began in 1954? I'll give you a hint, it rhymes with Mivel Mites. It's highly unlikely that a black police officer that has to deal with a job that at the time is incredibly racist at the beginning of the fucking civil rights movement would have this America is a free country outlook. In fact, during this time, black officers were more rigorously kept under watch and in some cases fired without notice, specifically because black police officers were worried to have an anti-America bias during the civil rights movement. It's not flat out impossible, but it is like having a name for a Chinese character in a Chinese movie be Randy Quaid or something. It sticks out like a sore thumb.
Oh! Look!
Can't believe it. I wonder where this one goes.
55. Does it ever get explained for the second ending how Mrs. Peacock knew about either passageway? No? Cool. 56. How, within the space of 2 quick shots, do we go from hearing Mrs. White screaming from upstairs as Yvette runs with purpose downstairs to Yvette arriving at her destination with Mrs. White already there, seemingly having teleported her way down the stairs? 57. All right, you almost got me. This one almost eluded me. I know that phone landlines can often work during a power outage, but this definitely wasn't true during the 1950s. As soon as the power went off, his phone call should have ended. P.S. There's those gloves again. Wow. 58. Easily the most pedantic one. Why do they run these cool shadowy shots of all the characters, but when it gets to Colonel Mustard, it's just a regular even shot of his face with the brightness turned down? On my old CRT TV, the difference between these shots was massive. 59. Why didn't the singing telegram lady fall backwards when she got shot? When people get shot, the impact blows them back. They don't just go limp like a spaghetti noodle. 60. So is the front door just unlocked from when the cop answers? I went back and saw, yep, Tim Curry is clearly locking the door when he enters, and it's clear by this point, even from the inside, it needs the key to open. Doesn't this make both the Miss Scarlet and Mrs. Peacock endings impossible, since they would have needed the key to open the door to shoot the singing telegram girl?
And I introduced Mrs. White to Colonel Mustard. Hello, hello.
61. Tim Curry never introduced Mrs. White to Colonel Mustard. He introduced her to Yvette.
Mr. Body, switch out the lights.
Hey look, the flame of Miss Scarlet's cigarette showed up in the darkness. How neat.
But one of us wasn't here. Picked up the dagger, run down the hall, and stab the cook.
62. So, in the Scarlet ending, this doesn't happen at all. I get the difficulty of doing a whodunit with 3 different endings, but to some people that watch the theatrical release, this wouldn't have made sense, and I mean, you've read the title of this video. 63. So the passageway to the study is through this painting. When Mustard and Scarlet discover it, it snaps back into place, but when Tim Curry shows it off, it doesn't.
Neat.
Before he could blackmail anyone, Mr. Body had to discover their guilty secret. The cook and Yvette were his accomplices.
I see. So, whoever knew that the cook was involved killed her?
Yes.
64. So the third ending means that 5 of these guests, 3 of which have presumably never killed someone, independently came to this realization and decided to kill someone, most of which happened during a tense night while they were all already looking for a killer. 65. Ooh, look at that painting jiggle. Prop alert.
One of us slipped through the same secret passage.
Again?
Of course, back to the study.
66. So, in 2 of the endings, the murderer clearly didn't use this passage to kill Mr. Body. Whether it was Peacock or Plum, they clearly just left via, the door. Kinda hard to use a passage when everyone else is between them and the passage. Also, if Professor Plum was all like, hey, I know there's a body, but I gotta slip into this meat locker, BRB, it would have looked suspicious as fuck.
Everyone here tonight was either Mr. Body's victim or accomplice. Everyone who has died gave him vital information about one of you. I got them here so they give evidence against him and force him to confess.
Oh, yeah? What about that motorist? What kind of information did he have?
He was my driver during the war.
67. Okay, so this should answer 37, but this actually raises more questions. Did he ask the motorist to lie about his car? Was the motorist so committed to the bit that he actually abandoned his car, which I guess works fine, in the pouring rain and walked God knows how long to reach the house? Was the cop also involved? Did the cop also know that the car is fine? Or was he actually curious and worried? Was he asked to look for the abandoned car? Or was this all just a big play to Tim Curry?
But your souls are in danger!
Our lives are in danger, you beatnik.
68. Mrs. Peacock calls this unfortunate man a beatnik. Again, this was set in 1954. The term beatnik came in about 1958, a full 4 years later, to describe the Beat generation. A lot of folks attribute this to the launch of Sputnik, even though it was likely just Yiddish, even though Sputnik's launch probably helped make the term beatnik so memorable, I don't know. And the launch of Sputnik also happened after 1954. No matter what, this makes no sense. 69! 69! The fabled number. We didn't hear the cook scream.
We didn't hear the cook scream because Mrs. Peacock was screaming about the poisoned brandy.
Actually, yeah, why did nobody in this entire movie across all 3 endings hear Mr. Body get murdered in the hallway or the cook getting stabbed? Both of these happened with the door open. Hell, Colonel Mustard was in the dining room, or at least close to it, when the cop got beamed. And if you want to say the door was closed, at least in Scarlett's ending, nope, it wasn't. This movie's 3 endings are just full of justifications and explanations that don't get justified in the other endings. Number 70. It looks like leaving mimed getting hit a bit too early here, unless he, tripped or something.
You've no proof.
The gun is missing. Gentlemen, turn out your pockets. Whoever has the gun is the murderer.
Number 71. Why is it assumed that whoever used the gun still has the gun? They could have hidden it away. You didn't ask who's carrying the lead pipe. Number 72. In this ending, Mustard's nose is just randomly bleeding. There is 0 explanation why.
I don't think they know my real business. My business is secrets. The secrets of Senator Peacock's defense committee.
Number 73. If Miss Scarlett knows who Mrs. Peacock's husband is and knows his defense committee, why is she calling him Senator Peacock? Wouldn't it be more threatening, especially at this point, to hit them with the real names? 74. So over the course of this ending in particular, 2 functional chandeliers are shot down. Why does the lighting in this house not change a bit?
The gun is missing. Gentlemen, turn out your pockets. Ladies, empty your purses. Whoever has the gun...
Number 75. Miss Scarlett appears to have only, a lottery ticket or a parking ticket or something in her purse. Not only would she just leave her purse at home or something if that's not carrying anything, but she also pulls out a cigarette case earlier in the damn movie. Shouldn't that be in her purse? Why isn't it not in her purse? Why is her purse empty?
Which nobody can deny. Which nobody can deny. Which nobody can deny.
76. So, weird point, but how did everyone know how to perfectly sing For He's a Jolly Good Fellow, including the harmonies? Everyone even knew to sing only their part. The harmony didn't override the melody or anything like that.
Oh, Mrs. Peacock.
How did you know my name?
77. Mrs. Peacock isn't her name, unless she's straight up the only one not using a fake name tonight and just didn't say anything. 78. In the true ending, Miss Scarlett has a revelation in saying Professor Plum was missing when they found the cook.
That's right! He was the missing person in the kitchen after we found the cook dead.
Trouble is, Mrs. Peacock is also missing at the same time. 79. I want to return to this, but there's no explanation how Mustard or Peacock for ending 2 knew about the secret passageway. Combined with the key switch and the splitting up only working if he got the ground floor, his plan sucked. And Tim Curry's plan sucked more if he was hinging on people making their own plans like this, even if he somehow made sure Colonel Mustard picked a ground floor match.
I shot her.
You? So it was you. I was going to expose you.
I know. So I choose to expose myself.
80. Remember when Tim Curry literally said, "Hey, if I was a murderer, I wouldn't tell you how I did it."
So you could be the murderer.
Don't be ridiculous. If I was the murderer, why would I reveal to you how I did it?
Even if he chose to expose himself because Mr. Green got wise, wouldn't it have improved his odds if he didn't explain any of the murders at all, or maybe pinned them on something else? We've already got 2 endings worth of content to prove you can just say Scarlet or Peacock did it. Even if you're lying, you'd look pretty convincing.
FBI. That phone call from J. Edgar Hoover was for me.
81. Oh, so J. Edgar Hoover called asking for you in the middle of your undercover operation using his actual name? And the culprit was the one that ended up talking to him? Your boss fucking sucks, dude. That's it, 81, 81, that's the winner. Number of things that don't make sense, just according to me watching it. Maybe there's even more, who knows? This movie, for the record, is actually pretty freaking good. I love it, it's one of my fave movies, and if you haven't watched it yet, congrats, you just had it spoiled and ruined, so have fun if you ever decide to watch it now. Anyway, this project took way too long, and it included me researching rigor mortis, the beat poet movement, the civil rights period, and the way cars were made in the 1950s, so thanks for watching. Me? I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.